Good morning, afternoon, and evening, and late evening if you happen to be Sarah in New Zealand. How are you all? This is nice, being in front of everybody once again for the first time in a long time. I'm just going to make it a little bit of a view so I can see everybody's face for a minute. So anyone that's comfortable having your camera on, I'd love to see your face because it makes it so much more pleasant for me to be talking to you when I can see smiles and nodding and things like that. Can you, anyone who's watching and sort of already engaged, can you give me a thumbs up if you can see me okay and hear me okay? Yes, good, excellent. Okay, so a few little housekeeping things just to that are important just to touch on for a second. My friend and collaborator Dave is going to be a co-host and be admitting people and answering questions in the chat channel for you throughout. If there's something I say that's a bit jargony and you go, I don't know what that means, she just said the word funnel and I don't know what she's talking about, then Dave will answer that question. So you can just type in there your question to everyone and he will let you know what the hell I'm banging on about. I am going to move pretty quickly today. I have to admit, I was partly planning the fire hose approach, where my aim is transparently to overwhelm the crap out of you, so that at the end of it you go, "Oh my God, I don't want to do this by myself. I was going to pay Kat's team to do it." Like, there it is. That's the sale. So I am going to move quickly. There's a lot of information to take in, but I'm also going to record it for you. And because you gorgeous people are on the call, of course you will get a copy of the call, and you can go back through and maybe slow me down, like, you know, press that. Most people like to speed up videos. You might want to slow me down and watch it again, take notes, go through it again. At the end, stick around to the end if you can. I know most of you have got a call with Annie, or at least many of you do, at 10 o'clock your time. So I am going to try and stay on time so that you can get off on time for Annie. But at the very end, and obviously if you're on the call, you'll get a recording of the call. At the very end, there is a website copy generator giveaway that I'm going to give you the link to, and Dave will post that in the chat channel too. So worth sticking around to the end for that. So I think that's pretty much it. First of all, can I just check in? How are you guys doing? Tell me at least one delicious thing that you've eaten in the last 48 hours. Type it into the chat channel now. Let me know something amazing that I can cook for dinner tomorrow night. I want a chocolate. Yes, good. I just ate the world's best spaghetti bolognese. My partner has crafted the Heston Blumenthal version of, like, I think it's like a 3-day bolognese or something, and it's always unbelievable. So, you know, I might nod off halfway through this, but I doubt it. Marinated tempeh. We've just started a diet, so these are good, yes. Chocolate doesn't help me. Marinated tempeh does. Good. Ottolenghi. Oh, yum, yum, yum. All right, good. Yay, it's so nice to hear from you guys. Feel free to give me lots of smiles and nods and things like that as we go through. I'm sure that you're used to doing all that with Jo. I'm just louder and possibly sound a lot more Australian than her because I'm here and she's there. So let's get started. I'm going to try and navigate my way through a little bit of tech shenanigans for 2 seconds. All right, so you can now all see a nice big screen that says "Take your coaching business to the world." Can you? Thumbs up for me. Good, nodding yes, yay. All right, excellent. Okay, my beauties. This is going to be a bit of a marketing education around building a roadmap to authority, clients, and profit in your business. I don't want you to freak out if you think that you might be just in a sort of hobby phase right now. It's okay if you are. It's okay if you're here for some free training to get your head around things. But for some of you, you'll be in a different space, and I'm going to go through that later. But for all of you, essentially, if you're not making 40K a month in your business, your coaching business right now, then you are going to learn something from today. I'm not saying that you have to make 40K a month either. Some of you might be like, well, that sounds like a lot of clients, especially if I'm doing them one-on-one. But you don't have to. But I'm just saying that this is all the knowledge that we've got here is for people that are in this sort of 40K and under bracket. It's everything that we went through with One of Many from a brand strategy perspective, right through to our weekly social media, copywriting, and all of those things. And I'm going to endeavor to make it super simple for you to understand. I will warn you, I'm going to overwhelm you to begin with, but as we go on, I'm going to pare it back and you're going to see that everything that's been blowing your mind when it comes to marketing and sales, and maybe I'm making some assumptions there, maybe your mind isn't blown, but if you're anything like me, every second ad in Facebook is some free marketing training, and I've opted in for all of them. And I've got like so many people coming into my inbox telling me how to run my business now. And I'm like, hey, I've been around longer than you. Like you're telling me how to do it. This is hilarious. So, probably hands up really quickly, actually, or even just put a yes in the chat channel if you've bought a free training. If you've paid for a training or even done some free training around marketing and have got a bit of an idea of sort of just how overwhelming the landscape can be. So give me a yes if you've bought something and you sort of got your head around marketing a little bit, or a bit of a start anyway. Okay, so just me. All right. Sort of. Good. Excellent. Okay, so let me run through who this is going to work for. So if you are thinking about starting a coaching business, maybe you've just come out of cohort 6, you're like, oh my God, I've still got to get through my prac clients. That is totally cool. If you are just thinking about starting a business, you're in the right place. If you've already started over sometime in the last few years and you're not getting consistent leads, or you're confused by your marketing or by marketing in general, and it's overwhelming and you just want to be a coach, or if you can't get people to respond, or even if you've created something and it worked, or it kind of half worked, but you have to recreate it again and keep redoing things all the time, then you're in the right place. And if you want to get lovely and empowered around your business, get a consistent flow of leads, get some simple marketing in place to people who want it, they get it, and they know how to ask for it, and they will ask for it by creating it once and using it forever, then you're in the right place. So I'm going to tell you what you need to know today in order to get those things and at least get a very, very good start on existing in your business in that sort of empowered space. What you need to know is the coach contribution framework. It's your roadmap to building authority, clients, and profit, and take your coaching business to the world. Now, I want to clarify, okay, taking your coaching business to the world might be to the 3 neighboring postcodes, right? It doesn't have to be, you don't have to be Joe Martin. It's completely up to you and the impact that you want to make in the space that you want to make it. So when I say world, we're using that term loosely. It's just really what I'm saying is beyond your existing network, yeah? So we're going to run through that today. Sorry, I've just rolled forward too many slides. Oh, there's a little duva. Okay, good. But before we get into it, I just wanted to offer you these 2 things. And David's going to pop these links in the chat channel so you can cut and paste them into your browser now, but don't go there now. Stay here. Just pop them there for later. Just click them, open them up, or copy and paste them somewhere. This Edge Marketing Facebook group is where I put all of my free training. I used to do weekly Facebook lives. One day when I'm not homeschooling and got a little bit more certainty around my schedule, I will start doing those again and giving you free training in there. But generally lots of really great giveaways. I've got a knowledge base full of about, I think probably 1,000 articles that I used to charge around $15,000 a year as a membership for, that I give away in that Facebook group. So I don't do that membership anymore, but all the articles and all the information in there is still very relevant. So grab that link, copy and paste it if you can. It's bit.ly Edge Marketing. And also, if you would be kind enough, if you've enjoyed this free training at the end of it and you got something out of it, then I'd love you to give me a LinkedIn review. And as I go through this, you'll understand why getting reviews is really important. And so this is my little cunning plan to get some. So let me jump in and tell you a little bit about the coach contribution framework. How fast am I going? Are you guys okay? Give me a thumbs up. Are you keeping up yet, or is it just way too fast? Do you want me to take? No? Okay, good. I'm going to slow down for the bits that are actually, you need to actually know. Right. So your coach contribution framework. Now, you might have gone through life right now thinking, okay, so I've done some marketing, I've tried a bit of this, I've done a bit of that, but it's, and you've heard words like funnels and pipelines and strategy calls and discovery calls and triage calls, and, there's about 85 different social media platforms. Which one should you be on? There's a lot of overwhelming things out there. And most people come to me and say, oh, I need a website, or oh, I need to know what to put on social media. None of them are thinking about it they're just sort of operating from a sort of FOMO space, really, of like, oh, everyone else is doing it, so I should do it. But you don't really know why you should do it. You just know that you should. So what I've done is I've made it sound super simple here by breaking it down into 4 key components and digestible pieces. It's at a super high level because we need it to be at a super high level, because if we get down into the nitty gritty too quickly, then you're going to get overwhelmed. So let me just take it through you slowly. So attract, convert, deliver, refer. They are the 4 cornerstones of a powerful, really business strategy. It's not just about marketing, right? So marketing is really just your customer's journey broken down, your customer's buying journey from hearing about you through to spending the most amount of money they're ever going to spend with you. It's really just breaking down that journey into digestible pieces so that they can understand what they're going to get from working with you, essentially. And this is sort of the 4 key foundations that you need to have in place: is a way to attract customers, a way to convert them, and a way to deliver to them, and a way to refer them. And refer them's got a few components as well. Now, I absolutely love alliteration, so I have alliterated the bejesus out of it and tried to tell you a breakdown of 3 within each of the 4. So I've taken each component and broken it down. So attract, 3 key things that you need to know in attract, and I will tell you exactly what these are in a minute. I'll break it down even more. Attract, you need to have authority in your space. The people that you're speaking to need to know that you're the person, the go-to person, the go-to leader on that subject or that particular transformation or that particular solution. Algorithm, you need to please the Google gods. Google and Facebook and Instagram and LinkedIn, what you say on those, the backlinks and all that stuff, it all matters. Action, you need a way for people to raise their hands and say, hey, yo, I'm in your target market actually, and I might like to hear some more from you. So attract is authority, algorithm, and action. Convert is customer, conversation, and collect. So customer, who is your ideal, unique contribution client? And it doesn't, even though you've all been through the same training, you've all got a vast wealth of diversity when it comes to your backgrounds and your skill sets before you came to coaching. So when I talk about your unique customer, I don't mean the overwhelmed woman, that one of many targets. It might be a little bit of that, but it can be a whole bunch of other stuff as well. So getting a handle on who your unique customer is. What conversation do you need to have with them for them to understand that where you're, where you can take them? How do you make that easy and frictionless for them? And collect. So what, platforms for contracts, payments, that sort of thing. So you'll notice some of these things that I'm saying are kind of intangible and emotive things. So they might be more content driven or your brand driven, that sort of ethereal stuff. And then there's going to be some sort of platform stuff like which social media platform should I be in? What WordPress, what should I use for a website? Wix or WordPress, or what is it? So just keep a note that I know that this is really mixed up at the moment, and I will unmix it for you later. Delivery. Make sure that you are different enough. Make sure that you're definitive in the transformation that you're going to give somebody. If you take them from point A to point C, you need to walk them over B, which is the bridge. So what is your definitive transformation? Digestible. Don't make it too full on for them. The biggest mistake most coaches make in their marketing or their program delivery is just giving them too much information, and they can't get a result at all because it's not digestible. And referrals. This is about getting them to refer more people like them, but also retaining, you having something else to sell them after they've done their coaching and they've peeled back that layer of an onion and they're on to the next level with them. So having a retention program as well. And getting them to give you reviews, which, as you can see there, takes you back to authority. So when you've got reviews and you've built authority in one kind of key space, then all of a sudden the big wheel keeps turning. Is that making sense? Does that, I know it's a lot, and it's going to get even more, but does that in general, so that you can see how the marketing picture comes together, yeah? So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to break down each one of these pieces of the pie even more. And like I said to you, some of them are going to be content driven, And some of them are going to be platform or, sort of where to put it sort of stuff. So let's jump into that. Attract, so authority. I've been into that a little bit, but we want to get really clear here. What I'm talking about building authority is, it's important because there's never been in history before less barrier to entry when it comes to starting a business, right? It's pretty low cost to get online. It's not like you have to pay for a shop front or rent or, bricks and mortar, window dressing, things like that. So you can whack up a Wix website all by yourself, might look a bit crappy, but you can do it and you'll send some people there. The thing is, there's a bajillion coaches in the world. So you really, really need to stand out. If you are planning to make an actual business out of this and not just a hobby where a few of your friends refer you, then you really need to learn what it is about you, the unique view that you have, the perspective that you have, your vision, your values, your mission, your unique expertise and skills, and your unique messages and posts will build your authority. Then the algorithm, what platforms, what search engine keywords. So this is where you start to think about your niche. What problems are they typing into Google that they desperately want solved? What social keywords, because again, like I said, it's not just about Google, it all links together, right? Social media platforms talk to Google and vice versa, and they all share data, and they all bump, like if there's a website that might have the exact keywords that someone's typed in, if it's not being linked on social media and other people promoting it, it won't show in Google search results. And action. Really important that your social media covers a broad range of things. And I've talked a little bit about it from the authority perspective, the content, the messages and that sort of thing. But what I mean with action is actually getting people to take action. And it was funny. I had a chat with one of the coaches who booked a vibe call with me the other day. And she said, my husband said to me right before we got on the call at 5 a.m. in the morning, "Don't buy anything." And off she came giggling away to talk to the mad Australian. And she said, "This is the thing about you guys, you just take action, like you just put it out there. This is how it is, this is what you're going to do, this is how it's going to work." And I said, yes, well, I'll try and be very British about it and not say what I mean. We're watching Downton Abbey at the moment. I'm like, oh, for the love of God, just tell her you love her, just say it. Stop beating around the bush. So you want to have social media that gets people to put their hands up and take action and say, yeah, I want to work with you, or yes, I'd love a call with you. So get that unique content into your opt-ins. So, and when I say opt-ins, I mean a piece of content that you give away in return for a name, email address, and phone number that gets someone to start to have the kind of virtual conversation with you, essentially, and getting that right unique content to get calls booked. So they're that's it broken down further, right? Okay, now I'm going to keep overwhelming you. Give me a thumbs up. Is everyone okay? I'm just going to have a quick squeeze at your faces. I've only got about 5. Yeah, everyone landing. It's making sense. Good, lovely. Okay, so convert. So we've done attraction, now we're on to convert. Customers, your unique and defined. Sorry, this little bar is getting in the way. Your unique and defined perfect client. Your unique and defined transformation for them. And your unique and defined solution. So you want to have one person, one problem, one solution. I always talk about this when people come and work with me. They go, I just want to work with sort of, 50-year-old woman who's going through a bit of a transformation. She's done this, done that, but hasn't, has the rest of her life in front of her, put herself after the kids her whole life, and she's ready to be fulfilled. I'm like, good, that's a great start, and we're out here. So when I talk about defined one person, I mean that person plus a whole lot of other stuff that makes the problem and the person that you're trying to solve about that big. Not the person. The person doesn't get smaller. Just hone in on the problem. So it's really important, one person, one problem, one solution. If you want to be something to everyone later, you can be, but you've got to build up enough authority and do your 10,000 hours with one type of person first so that you get really good at stuff. Because if you start doing a bit of this and a bit of that, it's like, imagine a science lab, right? You've got a what's it called? A theory, like a what's that thing called? A proposition, whatever that thing's called, where you suggest that this is what I'm going to try and prove. And then you do that. You've got the control and the test, right? If you keep moving the control, you'll never get any results from the test. So you've got to be great at marketing, you've got to choose one person, one problem, one solution, and just test variables against that over time, or else you're just going to get a whole lot of random data that gives you nothing about what people actually want from you. And how to compete, with everybody else that's providing solutions to the same target market. So conversation, having the right unique website with the right wording on it to the right person, the right chat starters, the right unique nurture sequences, because, they'll get into your database via opting in for something or someone referring them to you, but you can't just leave them there. You've got to keep talking to them. So you need email sequences going out to them. Collecting, having the right platforms for taking money, getting them to sign contracts online, scheduling software. I can tell that my fire hose approach of telling you everything you're going to need starting to work, because I can see eyes glazing over. This is exactly what I wanted to happen, because you're going, oh my God, there's so much to think about. But wait, there's more. How do you deliver? Well, you want to be different enough to be unique for them to see the difference, but not so different that it's a massive leap of faith, right? So if you tell me I can overcome my overwhelm and get into a sustainable way of living by jumping on a chopper and going to Antarctica for a 1-week retreat, then all of a sudden that program is about me trying to get to Antarctica and coming to terms with Antarctica instead of the actual transformation I want. Cool that we go on a retreat, but maybe not to Antarctica. So not too different, just different enough. And definitive. The transformation that you want to give people needs to be so definitive that it's is equivalent to, how when Superman, like when Clark Kent gets in the phone box and quickly does a change and comes out as Superman? Like, that's what you want. It has to be go in as Clark Kent, come out as Superwoman, but not Superwoman, because I know that come out as soft power. So go in as Superwoman, come out as soft power. That's what I should have said. And it's what happens in the phone box that is your unique contribution, right? You're doing that thing, what happens in the phone box. So use all of your coaching toolkit that you've got from One of Many and anywhere else that you've wrapped it all up from. You might have been a nanny at some point in time and have a super nurturing side that, is this sort of mothering thing. And then you might have been a corporate leader that had this real leadership, at the top of this, you're a COO or something like that. There's a whole bunch of skills you can pull from to create what happens in the phone box for you. It doesn't have to just be, oh, now I'm a coach. I'll put my coach hat on and forget that whole rest of my career that I had that led me to this moment. There is a way of bringing it all together. And digestible. Your unique delivery needs to be simple to digest and in the right place at the right time, essentially. So, refer. So as I said before, refer is retain, referral, and review. Retain, what are you going to sell them once they've got that first transformation? And that first transformation is usually only solving one thing, one problem. Not a big, broad problem, quite a specific problem. And then when you've got them that transformation over 6 weeks or 12 weeks or something like that, where are they going after that? What else can you enroll them in that gets them the next layer of the onion peeled, but on top of that can make them a more highly valuable client for you? Because we know that people that have spent money with you before are 50% more likely to spend that money with you again. And it's a lot cheaper to sell things to people that you've already got in your database than to acquire a new person. So always having somewhere else for them to go to get the next level. And referral, a unique way to ask them for more like them. So when you get really clear on what your unique contribution is and what your brand is and your messaging is all lined up around that, and it all makes sense, you become super easy to refer because you're basically giving people the words that they need to talk about you, which means that they only refer other people like them to you, which means that you don't have to deal with trying to fit square pegs into round holes all the time, which is, that science experiment idea. That's what, stop thinking, oh, that person's not quite a fit, but I'll try and shove them in anyway, because they won't get the result that you want. They won't give you the case study that you need to build your authority and round the wheel goes. Is that starting to make sense why this one person, one problem, one solution thing is pretty important? Yeah, give me a thumbs up or a yes in the chat channel just so that I know. Good, excellent, hooray. Okay, so who's ready for me now to debunk? I'm just going to stop sharing a little bit and see your faces, make sure if there's any questions in here. Good, good, good. Excellent. So what was that? Someone said it's useful to show me how much I've been learning through courses. Exactly. This is a thing. In the back of your mind, you might have some of this stuff already tingling around, and now you're seeing the big ecosystem of how it all fits together. And I'm about to break that down and make it even more simplified for you, because I have just kind of purposefully overwhelmed you, not because it's not real, it's entirely real. That's why me and Dave have a job. Otherwise, you'd be able to go and do a video course and work it out for yourself. If you want to be just a coach and not worry about this stuff, then that's why I'm trying to show you how it all fits together, why it is all really important, but perhaps why just doing training courses isn't going to get you there very fast anyway, at least. Right, so anyone got any questions? Now's the time, quick chat, throw them in the chat. If there's anything that I can quickly clear up for anybody. I'm going to take a quick drink of water. I'm like a machine gun and a fire hose rolled into one today. I'm so conscious of getting back to Annie on time, or I don't want Annie to have my guts for garter. All right, let me just move that. Okay, good. All right, excellent. So now I'm going to break it down into helping you understand what that all means, essentially. So with your attract, so now forget all those white lines, because basically everything I just told you about can be boiled down into understanding what your unique contribution is and what your unique client message content should be, right? If you know what you're doing, sort of what transformation you can create for somebody, and your contribution, how you bring that with the right messaging and put it on the right platform, then you're starting to be able to attract clients. Now, just as a note, anything in white is that sort of intangible idea. Anything in black is a tangible, right? So these are platforms and these are ideas. Oh, yes, good. I thought that was going to scroll on. Convert. Everything in the white lines basically drills down to your unique contribution client on their unique client journey with you, which sits on your business delivery tools. So, for example, converting might involve getting on the phone to them. So, therefore, you're going to need a Calendly link or something like that so they can book into your diary, for example. Now, your delivery is your unique client journey. So, again, of course, they're going to be on the journey because they've attracted, converted, and now you're delivering to them. So, they're still on the journey. But now they're starting to get their unique transformation. And where are you doing that? What business service tools are you doing that? Are you putting it on a membership platform? Are you doing it over the phone, on Zoom? What are the tools that you need, right? So we're starting to really map out how your business needs to operate. And refer. Your unique client journey, or everything under retain, refer, and review comes down to the client journey. So you need to think about where you're sending them once you bring them into a program and they've got their first transformation. Where are they going next? Referral, that comes down to the same messaging that you've been saying the whole way through. You don't suddenly at the end, now they're really, they've had their transformation, and now you don't let them sort of go off and talk about you in words that you never used, because otherwise they're going to send you the wrong people that attracted to the wrong words. Do you know what I mean? And then review. You want them to go and get onto your Google business listing and onto your Facebook listing and use your words. So I want people on my Google business listing to say, oh, it was so amazing when I got my leadership alchemy from Kath, and I really discovered what my unique contribution was. Like, I want people to be writing that in their reviews, because all of a sudden it starts to reinforce my nomenclature that no one else is using, which reinforces my brand and therefore reinforces my authority. Does that make sense? So then all of that essentially then can be drilled back down to your unique contribution to coaching is at the heart of it, right? Everything attracting, converting, delivering, and referring around that, retaining around that, is all centered around what it is that's in your heart that you've got to offer. Now, I'm really excited because a couple of people that joined into a case study program I ran a couple of months ago are on the call today. So this is their opportunity to open up their chat channel and brag about me. So a few months ago after, so I used to teach marketing. That was all I taught. I actually didn't realize that I was a magic unearther. And this, I'm just telling you, what do I mean by unique contribution really, right? So for 6 years I've been talking about me being a great, ad copywriter, and people come to me because I could write Facebook ads and they'd get results. And then I went, I wonder why they get results. It's not just because I'm good at all the techie stuff behind, because I'm not really. It was actually much more about the fact that I could get into people's minds and understand the customer journey and how they felt. And then I thought, well, why is that? And I was like, because I've got this real interest in the way the human brain works and, psychology and why people make decisions that they make. And I'm constantly like, that's one of the juiciest conversations I could possibly have at a dinner party or something, is picking out one person and going deep on, why do you think, So then I realized that's why I'm a great copywriter. That's why my ads work. But all along I'd been saying I was a marketer, but that wasn't the magic that I was creating. The magic was in my interest in how the brain works, teamed with this thing that I was completely unconsciously competent at. And I discovered the same thing in the women that I worked with in the case study program, was like, the thing that comes the most easily to you that you don't even know you're doing is why people come to you. It's that energy that you give off. When you talk to someone, and like for me, when I talk to someone about their passion, about their coaching business or their vision and what they want to do with it, I guess you could say it's their aura, or it's something around them that all of a sudden I'm getting dots and I'm joining it together and synthesizing together this thing that I've finally found a word to explain, which I think is their unique contribution. It's that thing that when people come into your realm, you're just naturally having this effect on them. And it's the reason why, if you lined up 10 coaches in front of you, all with the same toolkit, all saying that they can get you the same transformation, from superwoman to sustainable or whatever it is, to soft power, they'd come to you because of the energy that you're giving out, because of the way that you do what you do. That is this beautiful alchemy of just who you were when you were born, your genetics, the culture you grew up in, all of that comes together in this alchemy thing that provides your unique contribution. And that's why I get so excited about it. So Sarah Ockenden said to me when she did it, that after going through the coaching program, she said, I felt different on the inside. I knew it was finally, I'd reconnected to who I was, what I wanted and how I could be fulfilled. And I felt like that on the inside, but I'd be darned if I could she said, it was almost like I was shining a torch on that on the inside, and I knew it inside. But if I tried to bring it out and tell anyone about it, I just couldn't find the words for it. And once we did our session together, she said it was like having me bring that light into a lighthouse to be able to beam it out and tell everybody, this is who I am, this is what I do. And that now can be the foundation for her and for Sarah, who's on the call as well. Both of them, Sarah got her unique contribution. She's a lecturer at University of Auckland, Wellington. Yes, Wellington. After I hope you don't mind me sharing this, Sarah. I can just see your face there. That Sarah is the joy igniter. So she goes into a very dry university environment every day that's quite corporatized. And after she did a session with me, she said she felt like she'd been shot into the stratosphere and then come back down to earth again. And the next day I said to her, so when you go to work tomorrow, instead of showing up with your analytical brain and your cloak on to give the lecture, just before that, if you're the joy igniter, light the spark and put the cloak on over the top and still do the thing that they expect you to do, but do it from that energy instead. And straight after, she got feedback from a student who wrote to her email and said, oh my God, that was the best lecturer I've ever seen in my life. This is the reason I'm at university, is because of lecturers like you. And so see what I mean? Like when you get into that space, all of a sudden, that space that you are doing anyway when you're on, those really, really easy, when things are just flowing and nothing's hard and it's not a grind, and people just go, oh my God, you're so inspiring, or whatever that is. That's your unique contribution. And I have to admit to you, Joey said to me, yeah, give them a webinar, but all they need is just a simple website. Well, I have to say I fundamentally disagree with Joey. I could do you all a cookie cutter website, no worries. In fact, you could probably go onto Wix and do one yourself. If you don't know what your contribution is, you will look exactly the same as the next person. And I've made it very affordable for you to be able to find out what it is. So let me keep going through and show you what is next. So once you get to the bottom, now you understand what I'm talking about with your unique contribution. Once you get to the bottom of what that is, all of those red circles, those things that I just went through just before, could be basically bunched up into 5 key things, right? Your unique contribution, who wants it, which unique contribution client, what transformation do they need and are asking for. And that's when you start to worry about what your niche is. Most marketing starts with choose a niche. And this, I'm in so many marketing groups and everyone's like, I chose that niche, but I just really don't resonate with them now and I'm a bit bored. And so they throw everything out and they start again. And I feel like there's someone I could be serving better. That's because you didn't know what your contribution was in the first place. When you know what that is, you get out of your own way. All that imposter syndrome stuff just flies out the window because you realize, oh my God, if I don't show up tomorrow, the world is going to be worse off for it. And when I realized that I had this to offer, last year in COVID, and I mean, we're up to day like 300 in lockdown over here. I don't even know how I'm standing here doing this because I'm so bored and so miserable. It's really quite a miserable situation here in Melbourne at the moment. But this stuff gets me out of bed every day, not just to present, but to show up for these women and do their leadership alchemies and discover this contribution. It's actually one of the only positive things I've got going on because it's so driven by purpose. Like when everything else seems completely mad in the world, I now have a reason to get up and show up and do it, you know, and I have to do it. I'm compelled to do it. It's the only place that I feel inspired and loving and like I'm doing my great work. And I often think about this too, is once you understand your contribution and you know which client's going to resonate with that most, of course they're going to be typing all the normal stuff like burnout and stuff into the internet, but you know, they come to you and your wording on your website speaks of something different and like a unique perspective, and energetically they're picking up on the words on it and going, no, I think this is the woman for me. She's really got me, like she really gets me. And then it's like throwing a stone in the water and you are the stone, you're dropping in the middle, and those ripples that come out are the impact that you're having from your unique contribution. And then you'll impact somebody else who goes, oh, I want to know what that is. I want to do that too. And I want to come from that leadership space as well. And I want to do that thing. It's a bit like the Lead the Change program. And then slowly the circles start to overlap and we actually change the world. One little concentric circle and stone drop at a time, right? So that's what I want you to get to the bottom of, is that. Understand the message that needs to go to them and taking them on that journey in a digestible way. All of that is that sort of intangible that sits up the top there over your business service delivery tools. So, you know, platforms that you're going to put stuff on, and marketing tools. Let me go into really quickly a bit more detail on what business and marketing tools look like. So I'm going to get into kind of really what you actually will have heard stuff be called before, and so therefore how it all fits into this. When I talk about contribution, I mean that's the birthplace of a unique brand and unique social media and unique blogs that people find you uniquely for. And yes, I'm using the word unique a lot. You've got your one of many sales process. It's a structure, but there's uniqueness that you can put in there, you know, your own buzz, your own energy. Then when you get over to the delivery side, you're going to have emails that need to go out to deliver, you know, opt-ins, lead magnets, that sort of thing. And they're going to have unique copy in them as well that makes people go, oh, I've just got another email in my inbox from Sarah. Oh, I knew it was Sarah before I even opened it because of the way she words her subject lines or whatever, you know. So everything's a constant brand reinforcement. You know, every contact point is an opportunity to reinforce your uniqueness and make you easy to refer. And then your unique program. And then, of course, you know, over here, you're going to have your unique referral and review requests at the end of it. And all of that sits on top of the stuff that you already know about. Social media pages. Should I have a Facebook group? Should I have a Facebook page? Should I be a personality or a profile? Or am I a business? Or what, all those questions you've got about Facebook. And then you go onto LinkedIn and do the same thing. And then you go onto Instagram and do the same thing. And these are the number one questions people come to me, to the marketer side of me, not the magician side, and ask, how do I set up a Facebook, and which type of Facebook page should I have? Should I have a Facebook group? Should that be a lead generation group or a delivery group? Are they different? Private, public? What should I do there? Customer relationship management system. Oh my God, like that's where you put your list, right? Is it MailChimp? Is it ActiveCampaign? Should I choose HubSpot? Salesforce? Should I have a website on WordPress, Wix, Squarespace? Payment platforms, Square, Stripe, Xero, calendar schedulers, Calendly, all the other various versions of that, contract things, program delivery platforms, membership sites, Thinkific, those membership sites for courses. I can't remember what they're called now, but your Google business profile, your LinkedIn profile. Are you overwhelmed yet? Is it any wonder that everyone goes to marketing? Because it's really overwhelming. So you're going to be one of 4 types of people sitting here right now in overwhelm. 1, you're going to have a few years of business and some foundations on who your perfect client is, but something's missing. Something needs some clarity and you want to make more impact. You might be getting you kind of A clients every now and again and your B clients more often, but you're still getting enough C clients to make it go, I don't even know if I like coaching. So that's one type of person. Second type of person is just starting out. You're ready, you've got money in the bank, you're transitioning to a coaching business, maybe you've had a redundancy or something like that, and you're like, this is what I'm doing, and I don't want to be the person that does all the marketing stuff. I just want a plug and play system with a decent brand at the front end, and I want to start properly and effectively. I don't have time for mucking around. I just want to open up my diary, have calls scheduled with people, and get them into my program. Or you're going to be number 3. You'll have been in business for a few years. You're pretty happy with the way it's rolling. You've got enough clients in your pipeline. It's all thriving, and you're just here for the free marketing training, baby, and that is totally fine. Or you're number 4. And you've done it all yourself, by yourself. You've hacked a bit of a logo in Canva. You've hacked a bit of a website on Square or whatever that thing's called, or Wix or something like that. Or you've paid a VA and it looks okay. But if you were honest with yourself, if you were to compare it to other coaches or other people in the same field as you, it looks a bit scrappy, and it would be really nice to up-level your brand. So just remember now, whether you're 1, 2, 3, or 4. Basically, if you're anyone other than 3, if you're 3 and you're just here for free marketing training and you're sort of sitting in the hobby space right now, it's been a pleasure, having you on the call, and it's totally fine. But if you're 1, 2, or 4, then the next steps are to have a chat with me where we plan out a 30-day fast, like a quick win, 30-day strategy. It's not even a strategy. It's just a 30-day action plan and a 90-day strategy. So we're going to look at, first of all, where you are. Are you a 1, 2, and 4? And I'll understand that at the end of the call. Then we're going to assess your attract, convert, deliver, retain of your business and where you're at. We're going to give them sort of, just a traffic light system on where you're at with it. What are you doing really well? What needs focus for immediate impact? Then we're going to have a 30 to 90-day roadmap strategy session where we map out the highest impact, highest ease activities against the goal that you have to get to wherever you want to go in your business. And then at the end of that, we're going to make a decision if we like each other and whether we want to work together, essentially. So there's nothing to buy today. I'm just letting you know how I can help you. So don't panic if you think I'm about to flog you something really expensive. I'm not. So the steps to creating sort of freedom around your marketing business and the structure of your business and your sales process and getting to that place of ease and flow is to grab a vibe call with me if you haven't already booked one in. I've got a really quick process that I go through on that vibe call, which is quite structured. And at the end of that, we'll have a really good idea of whether it's worth going on to that strategy session to map out the 30 or 90-day plan. I had a call yesterday with someone who we got to the end of it. She said, I just booked it because I could. I said, okay, cool, where are you at? We had a bit of a chat, and we realised at the end of it, just from my questioning, Jen really quickly realised that she actually just wanted to stick around with this thing to be a hobby for the next 6 months. And I said, Ace, like, I'm not going to try and push you into, doing a website or doing anything like that if you're really happy with where you're at. So I'll say no to you if I don't think that I can help you get really great results. And of course, if you think I'm too full on, you can say no to me. So then after that strategy session, and we've got the 30 or 90-day plan, you're going to fall into one of 3 buckets. You're going to decide that you would like someone to help you with your leadership alchemy, that unique contribution. And then you're going to say, if I never have to look at the marketing and have a website, a bespoke branded website with all of the words that come from my unique contribution written for me, because you'll copyright it for me, Kath, thanks very much. And I'd also like 6 months worth of social media done for me, rolled up and plugged into a scheduler that just starts spinning it out randomly and creates me hands up and lead generation, so that I just have to go into Facebook and comment. I don't have to think what to post, because that will all be done for you as well. And I also would really like a way for people to opt in on my website with a lead magnet that delivers something to them and generates conversations through my website. And I'd also really like 3 blogs handwritten by you, preloaded onto the website, so that I start getting found in Google. And I'd also really like you to set up all the tech systems really elegantly and hand it over to me, so that it's all just running, like a plug and play running thing, so that all I have to do is look in my calendar, because you will have set that up for me too, and say, I've got a vibe call with Jen. I'll just pick up the phone. So if you feel like that's where you get to, you will want to know the leadership. You'll start to think about doing the package that I've put together just for one of many coaches. This is like super insane price just for you guys, because I know that you're all going to have, there's some similarities around what you're doing, enough similarities for me to be able to bring down the cost and then just plug in your unique contribution, right? So that's sort of step 1. At the end of the strategy session, you'll go, yes, I want the whole enchilada. Don't want to think about marketing. Thanks very much. Just do it. Or you'll go, I've done a bit, so if I'm I think it was the 1s or the 4s, I've done a bit myself, and I actually just feel like it's all sort of half set up, and I just feel like I don't know how to make my copy connect with people. So then you'll want the leadership alchemy. That's the unique contribution stuff, because then you'll get in that, you actually get a value-driven bio that I write for you. And Sarah will give you a big thumbs up on the wording in that. It's nice and juicy and different and very unique to you. Or you'll get to the other end of it and go, cool, that strategy session was great. I now know what I need to do for a quick win for 30 days. I know what I should focus on for the next 90 days. I'm going to go back to that bloody marketing training I paid for 3 years ago, and I'm going to do it myself. All fine, right? There's all of those 3 outcomes are totally fine. In case you're now freaking out going, how much money would that all cost me? Because by now, you're normally pretty excited about things. And I had a call with someone yesterday who was like, couldn't listen to anything else I said because she wanted it, but she needed to know now how much it was going to cost. So I'm telling you so you can think about it. That first package, which I will go over with you in the strategy session in black and white detail of exactly what you get. I'm just going to tell you here now, it's conservatively £12,000 of value, because you're getting a funnel, a website, all the copy, the brand, the graphic design, and social media done for you. I'm doing it for $5,000 for you guys. There's payment plans available that can be over 6 months. I'm trying to make it super come-outable. Or if you just want to do the leadership alchemy, it's £800 for £800 of value, because it's already cheap, and that's just what it is normally. There's no discount on that. Or DIY is free. So ladies, if you feel like there's something there for you and you think, yes, I would like to at least have that vibe call and check if I think there's something Kath can do for me, and then if there is, I'd like to have the strategy call, then please copy this link. Dave's going to post it into the chat channel for you now, and book in an vibe call link, a vibe call, a 15-minute call with me if you haven't already. If you have already, we'll go over all of that. You're done. You're sorted. Something to just keep in mind, though, is the reason I showed you those prices and sort of everything that, potentially you could want is because it's a limited time offer. I'm only going to take people on between now and Christmas, and that doesn't mean to say all the work will get done between now and Christmas, but I want you to have booked in and made a commitment so that I'm doing it basically just to plan my workflow for the first few months of next year as well. There's only one of me, and you get me and my friend Dave, who's on the call right now. Dave designed my website. And he's an absolute genius when it comes to like elegant design and systems and tech that works together. So you get the two of us, which is not very often you say that. Usually for that price, you'd be hiring someone who would palm it off to VAs, and you would never actually get the copy written by someone, let's face it, of my caliber. I'm pretty good at it. So that's, there's only one of me. It's going to take at least sort of, just to get through the strategy calls and whatnot, there's a bit of time that's going to be booked up in my calendar. So if you think you're keen, get in now is all I'm trying to say. And if you are someone sitting there going, I don't know if I'm 1, 2, or 3, or 4, then I'll give you a way here to work it out, right? If you can't get through this copy quiz, and Dave will pop that into the chat channel for you to copy as well, bit.ly copy quiz. This is what I promised in the ad for this webinar. If you can't get through that in less than 20 minutes, then you don't know your ideal client very well, and you need to do some work on it. I've designed, if you do know, and because I went through it myself for my website and I got it done in like 10 minutes. That's how well I know who my ideal client is. It was just as long as it took to type the information. I didn't have to think about it. It just rolled off my tongue. And this is designed in such a way that it's actually laid out like the parts of the website that you need to put copy in, essentially. So it's a super cool website copy generator. Of course, you're welcome to go and check it out anyway and book a call with me. It's, all of that is totally fine. If you do the copy, I'm going to it sends me an email with your answers, and I will read through your answers before, afterwards, and give you some feedback on email and just sort of tell you if I think that there's some work to do, if you've narrowed your niche far enough or not. Does that make sense? And does anyone have any questions? Now's the time to... let me just stop sharing. You can raise your hand. You can wave at me if you want me to come off mute, because I finished on time, can you believe it or not? We've got 8 minutes, so I can actually answer some questions if anyone's got any. Let me open up the chat channel too in case I can see anything there. Cool. Is anyone waving hands? Let me see. Let me go on to screen number 2 for hand waving. No? Oh my God. So I must have been really comprehensive then. Sing out in the chat if I'm not seeing you and you do want to ask anything. And I just want you to unmute yourself and tell me if you enjoyed it. Like, I just feel like you're all so silent. It's horrible. I hate Zoom. Does anyone want to say anything to me?
Yeah, I found it really useful, Kath. Really cogent, really, really clear.
Oh, thanks, Jilly. Good. Okay, great. Because that's the first time I've presented that. I whacked that together in the last sort of 3 days, waiting to see. I'd done a few vibe calls with people, and I just wanted to sort of see where you were all at before I planned the webinar. And I was like, oh God, I'm going to overwhelm them. But good. Okay, that's great. Excellent.
No, and Kath, just from me, it's Karen here.
I can't come. I'm trying to find you. Oh yes, I see you. Hi, Karen.
No, just to say this was a good walkthrough. I mean, I'm in marketing, but I'm in a big corporate, and we talk about funnels and customer journeys all the time, but when we think about coaching, it's totally different kettle of fish. And I don't even know if I could move any of my knowledge into this sphere. So you've just given a really great run through of all the things you need to think about, and it's a lot.
It's a lot. That's why I'm like, just pay the $5,000, dudes. Like,
well, there is that. But there's also the bit in the middle, which is your one problem, one solution.
Yeah,
that really hit home actually, because I bang on about that all the time with technology and science marketing.
Yes,
and I never really thought about it for myself.
Well, this is the thing, and most people do that because they get FOMO. So Dave and I are currently working on a mortgage broker's website, and in her brand strategy session, she just could not get away from. So what I really want is corporate women who have got multiple properties and a bit of a funny sort of financial situation that means that I really need to problem solve and match the right mortgage to them. I was like, great, what a great niche. Okay, and she goes, but I also want the brickies and the builders as well. And she just couldn't get over not having everyone. And the further we went into it, and it was funny actually, and this is really important, I then hired her as my mortgage broker for that bloody house last week. And she just got in by the skin of her teeth. And do you know what? It was because she'd missed a whole lot of details. It was such a stressful process for me. I'm her ideal client. I've got a deposit. I've got a weird situation because we're both small business owners. So I was her exact ideal client from that brand strategy, which is why I hired her. And then because she had taken on too many non-ideal clients, she gave me pretty well terrible service. And I ended up having to pull her up on a whole bunch of things at 5 p.m. the night before. We had to know if we had pre-approval or not. And she realized she hadn't uploaded 6 months of bank statements. And I was like, are you actually kidding right now? So do you know, like, this is the thing. If you try and be something to everyone, you'll be nothing to no one. And I've got a marketing coach that told me a really good analogy for that. You know, when you've got a fishing net, you stand on the jetty and you throw it out, right? When it lands in the water, it's all the holes are nice and close together and you've got a good chance of catching something. But your natural tendency is to want to stretch it out like that, which makes the holes bigger. And it doesn't matter what fish goes through it, they'll all swim straight through the holes and you won't catch any. So make your holes nice and small. So thank you for bringing that up. Now, Celine, did you have this hand situation going up? And I've never experienced that. Oh, yes. Hello. How are you going? What did you think?
It's very good. So I've just started the certification with one of many, this month. So I'm just wondering how early is too early. And just as a side note, I decided this summer that I would start a blog so that I would start generating some, creating a network, creating an audience so that when I launch the business, I have maybe already some addresses. So I'm just wondering,
it's never too early.
Start doing all this.
Yeah, look, it's never too early. And I can tell you that honestly, at the start of COVID, when it all hit, you know how I was talking about being a marketer, but really being a magician? The vice was really starting to tighten on that. And I had a whole bunch of clients that I think basically were hanging out with me just to hang out with me and be around my energy. They were sort of surrogating the vibe and kept paying their monthly fees, but we weren't getting anywhere. And I was training them and starting to bang my head against a brick wall. So frankly, I just used COVID as an opportunity to go, you know what? You guys probably can't afford to pay me anymore. So I'm just going to, bye-bye, everybody. Love you. Anything I can do, but, no more of this program. And the reason I did that was just to basically take some time off, do something different, come to terms, homeschool, blah, blah, blah. And then this year in March, I went, oh my God, everything else that I'm doing is not working. I just have to go back to what I love and I'm passionate about. And it's taken me from May until now with preparation, getting all of that social media plugged and played and loaded up, designing a new website, writing all the email sequences. I'm still building some of it and it's in October and I've only just started making money again. So just to give you an idea, that's a marketer going hammer and tongs from May, June, July, August, September, October, 6 months it's taken me to get to the point where I'm actually proud of what I'm putting out there now. So never too early.
Great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No worries. So that was Celine. Is there anyone else with their hand up, the handy uppy thingy? No. Okay, good. I know lots of you have got to jump off now. If you've got any other questions, please book a call. I'm happy to just chat to you about questions on those vibe calls. Or if it's something quite simple, feel free to make friends with me on Facebook Messenger, or email us, letsgo@kathclark.com. But it's been such a gift to get back in the training seat. Thank you very much for having me. It makes me happy. I feel like I'm going to finally be a nice girlfriend for a few days. Poor Matt. Okay. All right, gorgeous. Mwah! Big love to you all. Have a wonderful day. Thank you, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.